Hey, Dad. You mentioned to me once that you didn't think that there was a whole lot of women in the theater scene, especially writers. I mean, even though uh, there are far more women typically in acting than there are in men, at least in stage acting, which, you know, there's been kind of, it seems historically, a lack of female writers and directors, but I actually thought that I could tell you a little bit about some of the female writers who, within the last 50, 60 years or so, have really made an influence um, in modern theater, especially Sarah Rule, who wrote the Vibrator play, the show that I'm in, as well as Dead Man's Cell Phone, and she has received a lot of awards for a lot of the work that she's done, and she's highly recognized. There's a writer named Marsha Norman who wrote Night Mother and Getting Out, which are some more plays that are very commonly done and have a lot to do with feminism uh, in a way that is not preachy but is understandable and a lot of people can relate to. There's other writers like Wendy Wasserstein Wasserstein and Paula Vogel, but I think one of the most prominent writers is probably a woman named Maria Irene Fornes, who, at least I think that's how you say her name. She's from Cuba, which is interesting because she ended up, I think, getting most of her stuff out in here in the states. And interestingly enough, um, the way that she got into theater is, I read in my book on page 450 in text citation that Maria Fornes in 1951 went to go see a production of Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, which, even though she did not speak any French, she was still very moved by the performance and decided that theater was something that she wanted to do. So, uh, Maria Fornes has received a lot of awards for a lot of things. She's a very recognized writer and has a lot to say about women's issues, but again, in a way that makes it easy for people to relate to in a lot of ways. So, women are very well represented in the theater writing community, especially within the last 30 years. Sarah Rule is a contemporary writer um, who is still producing plays. In the Next Room was written in 2009. Dead Man's Cell Phone is written in 2008. She wrote a play called an adaptation of Eurydice, named Eurydice, in like 2007. So she's a very active writer to this day. So women are getting more and more out there, which I thought that you would like to know because you have made it very clear that you think that there is uh, a very small amount of women who are producing, not just participating. If you want to look at it more, Dad, you can check out this book, Living Theater History of Theater, by Edwin Wilson and Alvin Goldfarb. Um, I have the textbook if you ever want to borrow it. And, yeah,